Immigration advocates and community members protested in front of the White House against the treatment of Haitian migrants at the border. They are calling for the end to Title 42 and to end deportations.
People can and should be allowed to navigate their immigration cases in communities with their loved ones, not locked up behind bars.
United We Dream and the We Are Home campaign coordinated National Day of Action, with 25 actions taking place across the country, hosted by local partners, including a press conference and a rally in Washington, D.C., demanding President Biden make changes to the immigration system.
We want to end deportations, including the racist and horrific Title 42 detentions that disproportionately impact Black immigrants.
The immigrant hands is not the next vote.
The Trump administration invoked Title 42 in 2020 to expel people at the border without due process over public health concerns. The policy is still in place and is now being used to deport Haitian migrants in Texas. The Biden administration claims it has made the decisions to ease the overflow of migrants in a makeshift camp. The Department of Homeland Security is launching an investigation into all of that.
Detention in these facilities under horrible conditions. We see medical neglect, we see mistreatment, we see insults.
The crowd could be heard chanting, "The people united will never be defeated," as the crowd urged for campaign promises to be kept.
Biden's campaign promises to end for-profit detention. While it ends private prison contracts with the Department of Justice, it quietly negotiates those same contracts with the Department of Homeland Security.
Many of those at the protest say they were compelled to come out and denounce the abuse of refugees at the border.
Grabbed up and put in detention, right, separated from their families and not treated humanely is a big problem. And I think our country has gone down the wrong path. And our Japanese American community experienced being locked up for no reason. And, I think we're seeing that, unfortunately, history repeat itself.
When Joe Biden became the president of the United States, many people expected him to be very different from Donald Trump in terms of immigration policy. But as the refugee crisis unfolding in both Afghanistan and US-Mexico border, it seems the promises he made are not being fulfilled. And now immigrants are speaking up.
Tell me what democracy feels like!
Multiple community action groups put the protest together as immigrants spoke and shared their personal stories from the immigration system.
My father has some rare type of cancer with a tumor within his lungs and heart. And in order for him to get better treatment, he will need to travel to Houston, but he can't because when you live in a border town, there is a checkpoint after so many miles. So even if you are in the U.S., you cannot go further because you need a document.
I've been here since 1998, right? So it's 2 decades where we've been waiting for some kind of immigration reform, living in the shadows, essentially a second-class citizen.
26 years. I'm working and pay the taxes. I have family. It's important for me to give the citizenship.
Haiti is second on the list of countries of origin for black immigrants, making up 16% of U.S. black immigrants' population. Some believe this is much more than just an immigration issue.
Death at the hands of immigration enforcement remain a constant threat for Black and brown immigrants. The assaults happening right now against Black immigrants are rooted in white supremacy.
Immigrant advocates have sued the U.S. government over the use of Title 42, but the Washington, D.C. Circuit Court granted the government's request for stay. For decades, Haitians have lived with the daily devastation of gang violence, gas shortages and blackouts. The things took a deadly turn when a 7.2 magnitude earthquake killed more than 2,200 people and left thousands homeless. Since September 19th, Immigration and Customs Enforcement has deported over 6,000 Haitian migrants without a chance to claim asylum. The decision prompted the U.S. envoy to Haiti to resign in protest after footage was released of a Border Patrol agents on horseback going back and forth across the river, swinging a whip and trying to round up Haitian migrants who were bringing food and supplies across the border. Sai Wu, China America Radio, Lafayette Square, D.C.